I am very pleased to announce that the Socialist Equality Party will be launching a campaign to regain our registration as a political party with the Australian Electoral Commission, or AEC. This campaign is essential in order to ensure we are able to run in the next election with our name on the party ballot. We are asking you tonight to sign up as an electoral member of the SEP so that you can help us regain our official registration. We are currently excluded from this basic right. This is due to anti-democratic electoral laws rammed through the Australian Parliament by both the Labor and Liberal parties on August 26, 2021. The legislation suddenly, overnight, tripled the required electoral members to 1,500, just as COVID-19 lockdowns made campaigning impossible. The purpose of these laws was to block ordinary people from choosing to vote for a socialist candidate in the elections. As a result of these laws, our party was deregistered in 2022. At the time, we warned that the political establishment was determined to silence any challenge to the two-party system. Their deep-held fear was that the growing dissatisfaction and opposition to the dismantling of COVID safety measures, the increasing levels of social inequality, and the ramped-up commitment to the US-led war would find a left-wing expression. In the 2 years since our deregistration, the breakdown of capitalism has only deepened. The COVID-19 pandemic is now in its 5th year, and thanks to the universal adoption of herd immunity measures, has spread worldwide, claiming the lives of more than 27.5 million people. The imperialist descent into barbarism finds its sharpest and most bloody expression in the ongoing genocide in Gaza. The proxy war in Ukraine, waged by US and NATO against Russia, has now been going on for 2 years. According to some estimates, more than 500,000 Ukrainian soldiers have died, with calls for lowering the age of conscription to force more workers into the meat grinder. Open talks are now being held about the sending of European troops into the conflict, which would lead to a direct clash with Russian forces. And NATO powers have repeatedly declared that they will not be deterred by threats of a nuclear conflict. At the same time, advanced preparations are being made by the US and its allies, above all the Labor government here, for a confrontation with China. Now, none of the burning issues facing the working class can be resolved outside the overthrow of the capitalist system and its replacement with world socialism. Under these conditions, the working class must have a political voice in the next elections, which only the SEP can provide. The same processes we are witnessing with the breakdown of capitalism is also giving rise to mass sentiment of discontent. This is concentrated in the ongoing international anti-war movements against genocide in Gaza, as well as growing strike movements of workers against deteriorating social and living conditions. However, what is required is that this mass sentiment is directed on a socialist program. We advance such a program that calls for the abolition of a society based on corporate profits, the establishment of a democratically controlled public ownership over big business, and the dissolution of the vast military-industrial complex. I appeal to all of you listening today, whether you are online or in person, to sign up as an electoral member of our party. Our party fights for socialist equality for all, an immediate end to Israel's genocide in Gaza, an end to all militarism and war, a scientific program to eradicate the COVID-19 pandemic, no to mass death policies of the ruling elite, against nationalism and racism, for the unity of the international working class, quality, free education and healthcare for all, a decent full-time job with permanent conditions for those able to work, a workers' government and socialism, democratic control over the wealth that workers produce for human need, not corporate wealth. Now, anyone who agrees with this program is eligible to apply. Membership is free. To join, you cannot be a member of any other political party, and due to the reactionary electoral laws, you must be an Australian citizen who is eligible to vote. And just to make the point, this campaign will be conducted in unison with the international campaign launched by our sister party, the Socialist Equality Party in the United States, to stand Joe Kishore and Jerry White as the SEP's candidates in the 2024 US presidential election campaign to provide a socialist alternative to Biden and Trump, the corporate candidates of war and dictatorship in the headquarters of global capitalism. So again, I appeal to you today, join the party as an electoral member. Help us reach the required membership of 1,500 so we can get the SEP's name on the ballot and defeat the bipartisan attempt at silencing opposition. Above all, join our movement to take forward the essential struggle for world socialism in the 21st century and take the first steps by becoming an electoral member of the SEP and consider applying to become a full member of our party.